Super Rugby Round 4 Dream Team. Let me just say, if you're a Hurricanes fan and thinking, yeah, we smashed the Crusaders, well, beat them, we're going to get rewarded by lots of spots in the Dream Team. Maybe just stop watching because, nah. So, here's my team. A lot of guys who could have been in this team not ending up there. Some spots had kind of a clear favourite. A lot of other spots, yeah, really hard to decide between some guys. If I've left someone out, including some Blues guys, it's either because they gave away too many penalties, had a pretty low tackle ratio, something. There'd be something that I thought, if you're in my dream team, you got to do better than that. So here's the list. Front rowers. So Michael Alalatoa from the Crusaders. 6 runs for 3 meters. Pretty good record for a prop. 8 out of 10 tackles, which is pretty good for a big boy. Scored a try, and the Crusaders scrum looked really solid. So I'll put some of that down to him. Good all-round game. He can even do better. So, yeah, impressive stuff from him in a beaten team. Yeah, sorry Hurricanes fans, but yeah, I thought he played well. Next, hooker, also in the front row, obviously, Augustine Creevy. Yeah, he had a big game. 40 run meters from 13 runs. 7 out of 9 tackles, got turnovers. Jaguares scrum also looked solid. This was a really big improvement from the Jaguares. You could argue that the Waratahs didn't start well, so that kind of let them into it. But once they got their run going, Jaguares looked really good. Nice change, of course. And yeah, Creevy was a big part of that. He was really driving the team forward. He's not the captain, but he still acts like the captain. Tupou. Taniela Tupou from the Reds. He's one that I think you probably had to watch the game to put him into the team of the week because he his stats aren't that massive, like 4 out of 6 tackles. That's pretty ordinary. 8 runs for 16 meters, okay, but for a guy with his pedigree, you think he'd be making more. But the hits that he did make, some of them were big. They were bone rattlers, so I give him a bit of credit for that. And for the most part, you're a prop. You're there to scrum. He scrummed. So, yeah, all 3 of these guys, I've kind of given them a lot of credit for their work done at scrum time. It's kind of hard to get yourself into the dream team if you're a prop and your scrums are going backwards and you're giving away penalties. So, yep, pretty happy with those 3 guys. Next, the locks. This was really hard choice because there were some really good candidates. I've gone with Ross Halep-Petty. Neither of these picks of Halep-Petty or Franklin are kind of like the sexy picks if you can get that with a lock. But yeah, 5 runs for 10 meters, 22 out of 24 tackles. Guy has got an engine, and that's kind of what he's known for. So, yep, didn't disappoint in that regard. Took the ball at line out. So, yes, good performance from Ross. Tom Franklin from the Highlanders, 5 runs, 20 meters, and line out takes, line out steals. So, all the kind of stuff you want from a lock, including 19 out of 21 tackles. So, also really big game in terms of how he got around the park, how he contributed to his team, big part in their success. Stormers line out not that great. So some of that work, you kind of say might have been given to him rather than him doing it, but still you got to do the business, and he did it. So yeah, good performance. In the loose forwards, so Nick Diaka from the Bulls. Again, I love the tackles, man. 20 tackles, 4 runs, so not that prolific with the ball, but took the ball at line out, got turnovers. Unfortunately injured and out for the rest of the Bulls tour, so that's a big loss for them. Oh, and you can see with Malusis, I love number 8s this week. So next from the Rebels, so Amanaki Mafi, he's a sexy pick, isn't he? just in terms of his stats, I mean, 15 runs, 82 metres for a forward. Put some of the backs to shame, honestly, the way he carries the ball. 11 out of 13 tackles, scored a try, beat 6 defenders. I mean, geez, if your backs go down, you could put him pretty much anywhere, couldn't you? He's just quite an athlete. Next from the Blues, Akira Ioane had a pretty big game. A lot of people talking in the comments about him, like why isn't he an All Black? I'm sure there's aspects of his game that he still needs to work on. His stats this week are better than last week. I looked at him last week because he was also good with the ball last week, but he only got like 2 tackles in the whole game, which if you're a loose forward is pretty disappointing. But this week, upped that a little bit, so 6 from 6 tackles, but his stuff with the ball was hard to ignore. So 10 runs, 75 metres, beat 10 defenders and got a try. So a big part of the reason the Blues got their win over the Lions. Good performance all round. Next, at number 9, so Aaron Smith. He was pretty much, I mean, again, some other guys had good games, but he was number 1 pick from the round straight up, and no one really dislodged him. So 2 tries on defence, 8 out of 10 tackles, 6 runs, 51 metres, passed the ball well, really crisp, ran the show from 9. So he's been looking good all season, and you got to think that's going to continue. He's a world-class player, so expect to see him here kind of regularly, I would imagine. At 10, so another Jaguares player, we got Sanchez. He really ran the show in the Jaguares team, like I said, who really found some form. He ran it well, he passed it well. 9 from 9 tackles, and some of these tackles were impressive. It was like, yeah, they'll show you the replay and you'd be like, is that Sanchez? Yeah, man, no fear. So yeah, impressive stuff. Missed a couple of his kicks at goal, but I won't hold that against him. Yeah, really good performance all round from Nicolas Sanchez. Good to see the Jaguares kind of back on track, and if they're going to have an improvement to their season, I think he's going to be a large part of it. Yeah, next in the midfield, so Esterhuizen's on here for a second week in a row. You'll see why in a minute. So he's got 8 passes. Okay, he's a big bopping player, so you're expecting him to just run straight lines. But 8 passes, 3 offloads, 50 run meters. It's not bad. Beat 3 defenders. Okay. 23 out of 23 tackles. That's silly numbers. So the next best Sharks guy had 12. That's just, man, he must have made some Wolves guy must have made him angry, because he was just, either that or they just decided, as our strategy this week, we're going to run at the biggest guy, like one of the biggest guys on the field. I don't know, but he was busy. On the other side, so I've got Reece Hodge from the Rebels, 2 tries, kicked some goals, had some poor kicks at goal, but still, not that many midfielders kick goals. 9 out of 13 tackles, which doesn't sound that great, 9 out of 13, but compared to some other guys who I was also looking at, because Reece wasn't like a out-and-out first choice. I got to have him as my team of the week kind of guy. I was comparing him with a few other guys. Some other guys missed some tackles. So for as many as Esterhuizen was making, he must have been making everyone else's tackles, because a lot of other guys didn't do that well this week in terms of their defence. Outside backs, so I have gone with Mapimpi. He had a blindness, 122 run meters, 7 defenders beaten, 6 from 6 tackles, 2 tries. Just unleash the Mapimpi. Honestly, he's one of the most exciting guys to watch with the ball, isn't he? So yeah, more of the same, please. Keep him coming. Ben Smith from the Hurricanes. It's Hurricanes, Highlanders. God, I always do that. So 10 runs, 55 run meters, 5 from 5 tackles. Really key defensive moments. He's kind of an orchestrating player, and he doesn't seem that fast usually. When I see him with the ball running, he's like an eel. he seems to be just really awkward to tackle, and he often slips through, but he's never been a gas man. But he showed some moments in that game where he could defensively put himself in the right place at the right time. So very, very astute kind of fullback. Definitely plays better there than on the wing. And last, in a kind of a surprising move, given that I've got no Hurricanes on the board, but I do have a Brumby. So Henry Spate, got a try, 12 runs, 4 from 5 tackles, 106 metres, beat 4 defenders. In a Brumbies team that looked pretty ordinary, this guy still looks good. So it's always easier to look at the guys who are on the team who score. Like, I got to put more Sharks guys on here with the amount of points that they put up against the Sunwolves, but for a team that wasn't doing that well, Henry Spate still looked pretty good. So that is equally impressive. So what have I got? I got 3 Rebels, 3 Highlanders, 2 Sharks, 2 Jaguares, Crusaders, Reds, Bulls, Blues, and Brumbies, all with 1. Some teams miss out, unfortunately. But yeah, that's my team. Not going to do honourable mentions this time because I will invariably miss at least one or multiple other guys who had good games. I know there are definitely other guys who had good games, guys who you could argue deserve spots more than here. Very happy to hear who you guys think should be on here. I love getting those comments, and I don't know, just getting a feel for what you guys thought. Some of the stuff you see, you might just see stuff that I didn't see during the game because I've only watched each game once. So you watch some games with a closer eye than others, see certain things other people miss. Yeah, a lot of this is based off stats, my own notes, and just what I've seen. So yeah, like I said, very keen to see what you guys think. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again for another one soon.